All right, we're here at the Walter Reed Medical Center. It's Thursday, March 15th. We just had a wonderful show put on by volunteers in the local area, some local comedians. We also had a young star come out to sing. Her name is Jessica Mallett. But right now we're going to go ahead and talk to our comedians. I have with me right now Tom Myers. In fact, Tom was the guy that had to get the whole crowd started up and warmed up from the very beginning, which is, it has to be tough to get the whole crowd started to begin with. How you doing, Tom?
Doing all right. And as for getting the crowd warmed up, with the kind of material that I do, you've seen a part of it. I had to keep it as PG as possible tonight. But usually my material gets people a little bit more riled up. Usually to the point where they either, will come up to me and say they were offended by something I said, or they'll actually, luckily, they'll leave before they can come up and say anything. So it's...
Okay. Where are you from?
Well, I am from a small town in Harford County, Maryland. It's called Falston. Don't worry, I don't know where it is either.
It sounds bad as I do. And how long have you been doing comedy? When did you know?
Well, it's sort of evolved over a period of years. I started writing stuff when I was about 13 years old. And before then, I got my introduction to the comedy world by staying up and watching Jerry Seinfeld's show. I would see his stand-up at the beginning of his show, and I would see it at the end, and then the show like right in the middle of it. And it suddenly dawned on me that this guy's comedy act is a part of this life he lives on the show. And to think, wow, to go up and be able to make people laugh and create this wonderful feeling in a comedy club or wherever I'm performing and, in an audience, and to be able to go ahead and just live your life, that's got to be great. So I knew I wanted to do something in show business somewhere along the lines. My parents would hear absolutely nothing of it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but get this, my brother-in-law wanted me to become a forensic accountant. I mean, I got the haircut of one, but yeah, I got this haircut actually at Emo Cuts, $4.99. For an additional $3, I could get the little wrist scar, pentagram carved on my head, the 666 tattooed on the back of my neck, but I only had $4.99. So. But a lot of the stuff I started writing was actually sketch comedy stuff when I was 13, sort of in the vein of like Monty Python or Saturday Night Live or Kids in the Hall. And I started getting into stand-up when I was like 16, 17, listening to them, not really performing at all. And I finally got the nads to go up and perform when I was 18. I was a freshman at Goucher College, and they had like an open mic where you could go up and do like however much time you wanted. And well, fortunately for me, I had a lot of material written out, and so I just went up there and just sort of rehearsed my material and went ahead and did it. I think I did about like 22 minutes on stage my first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That was a lot of pent-up energy that I had from like doing like theater stuff, sharing lines with everyone. No, this is my show. I get to do it my way. Thank you. No, but
almost dreaming about it.
Oh yeah. 22 minutes, and I got like 25 or some laughs.
Oh.
So more than a laugh a minute, which is great. At least one laugh every minute. I can live with that. And then gradually, my material started evolving more towards the, and I'm not against comedians who do stuff to, about like, airline food or supermarkets, how expensive 7-Elevens are, whatever. But I've always felt the need to go ahead and just do my own thing, to go ahead and talk about what I'm interested in. And you know what? It sounds a little bit selfish, but the way I see it is, okay, I know what I like. I know what I think is funny. And I believe that, there's people out there who think the same way I do, who also, believe that, the stuff I have to say is funny. And I go ahead and cater to them. And I find the groups that I cater to a lot are the disenfranchised, youth or people who have lived their whole lives with this sort of sheltered existence and are just looking for something different. And I have a lot of material that I cover. I cover a lot of subjects, some which can be considered taboo and controversial. I mean, I'll go ahead and I'll cover like homosexuality, oral sex, religion, even. I have one joke where I talk about how I'm performing on a Good Friday, and I ask this guy in the audience, "Hey, how you doing tonight?" And the guy goes, "Oh man, today sucked. It just couldn't have been any worse." Buddy, this is Good Friday. Tons of stuff could have happened. And then I go ahead and paint this image of him on the cross going, "Oh man, this really sucks." And I've taken a lot of heat for that bit. But if you really listen to the message that's in the bit, it's that how many people are there in this world? Like more than 6 billion people. So the odds of you having the worst day, 1 in 6 billion. I will take those odds any day of the week.
I hear you.
So yeah, but unfortunately, people, they miss the message and they hear only what I want to hear. They hear, oh well he used this bad language and he talked about religion. Oh, he's evil. But there's that, and then there's also the positive response I've gotten. Like I've done a whole bit about gun control. Not pro, not anti-gun control, just an objective look about gun control. And I try to make it funny. And I did that bit at a show a few months ago, and someone actually came up to me, referenced that bit, and said, I want to thank you for having the courage to say that stuff. Because we don't hear that stuff said enough.
Great. That sounds like you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. So I'll let you ask the question number 2, I think.
Who do you have the most fun making fun of? Making jokes about. What is your favorite thing to make jokes about?
Well, it used to be, I used to enjoy making jokes about the Bush administration because I really came into fruition right before the election. So I had this image in my head of wanting to be this sort of big name, political comedian, and that turned off a lot of people and didn't get me a lot of work as a result. But I've sort of toned it down. I'm a lot less political than I used to be. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and poke fun at social issues. To sort of take apart taboo topics, like I mentioned before, and just take them apart. And what's really funny is you'll have people laughing in the audience at the stuff I'm saying, and you'll also have people just kind of standing there in shock. And the reason they're sitting there in shock is because they're watching their entire existence just sort of crumble around them. And to me, that's funny. It's kind of cruel, but it's just amusing.
Okay, why do you come out here? What is it that you want to get out of coming here to Walter Reed for the soldiers? What is it that you want to get out of this situation, out of this whole night?
Well, I'm not going to go into whether I'm for the war or against the war or whatever. I know, but
what do you want out of this experience? What do you want to carry away from this experience?
But what I do want to get out of this is whether I agree with what's going on or not. Our troops are making a sacrifice, much more of a sacrifice than I could ever even begin to make.
Or anyone in Washington.
Yeah, pretty much. And I've had a lot of soldiers come up to me tonight saying, "Man, that must be terrific. That must take a lot of guts to do what you do." And I'm telling them the same thing. Listen, I get up on stage and act like a smart ass. You're defending the country. So, it's, just how one, sees the other. I'm sure, a lot of these guys could never try to do stand-up comedy. And as you could tell, I'm not right for the military. And it almost makes sense me going into the military. I had 2 grandfathers who served. One was in the Coast Guard, the other was in the Navy. My dad served in Korea and Vietnam, and he and my brother and my uncle they all served in the National Guard in Maryland. So I guess I was sort of the black sheep of the family. I was the first male by the last name of Myers to not enter military service, and so that stands out. But I forgot the question. What do I hope to get out of this? Okay. Well, what I hope to get out of this is, because I could never join the military. I mean, I could, but there's a whole bunch of issues. Right. That's how I see it anyway. I mean, I could be wrong, but right now it's not for me. And the idea of being able to bring happiness to people who, in many cases, are making the ultimate sacrifice, that to me gives me more satisfaction than watching someone's worldview sort of crumble. That stuff can take a back seat for a night in my mind, and just making people happy, which is what I originally got into comedy to do. Just make people laugh and hopefully make the stuff I talk about funny, and just everyone enjoy themselves. Everyone just sit back, relax, forget about what is right and wrong, and just sit back, take an objective look at things, say, you know what, this really is silly, and it's pretty goddamn funny, and I'm going to laugh. That's what I try to do, ultimately.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Appreciate your coming out to serve the troops that way, too.
Thank you very much.